7:10 on this Sunday morning, May the 4th. Joining us now is Chris Abel for another edition of Tech Files. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Are you a Star Wars fan, or you a Trekkie, or you don't care about any of that?
I love Star Wars. So yes, May the 4th to you.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? Like, which are you in the newer stuff or the older stuff?
Oh, I'm the older stuff. So I do like the original Star Wars,
Yeah.
which I now is now known as A New Hope, but back in 1977 it was Star Wars, and then Empire Strikes Back. And I remember when Empire Strikes Back made such a huge impact, such a major difference. I mean, me and my friends, we would act out Star Wars, and then Empire Strikes Back happened, and the huge reveal of what was going on with Darth Vader, that just changed everything.
Yeah, it was. That's my favorite one too, because you find out everything. It's like you're watching a soap opera, and then you figure out, who's who, what was really going on. All right, let's talk some tech files, shall we? And we're all over the place with this one, but I do enjoy it. We're going to start off with birds and bird watching in particular.
Yeah, so 4 years ago, a bird feeder came out called Bird Buddy. And what was great is that it had a built-in camera so that when birds came to visit, not only would it take lovely photographs, but it could identify the species of the birds that were coming to visit you. This has proven to be very, very popular. Now they're coming out with a new generation, which they're calling the pedal camera system. Mm-hmm. So it's not just a bird feeder. They've got a little magnetic frame. You attach it, but you can add other types of feeders as well, because not only can it recognize bird species, but it also can do plants as well as insects.
Interesting.
So now you can clip onto it. You've got 4K video that the camera is recording, but you can add to it things like a hummingbird feeder, a butterfly feeder. You can even put a shelter for bees and other pollinators. So when these little creatures come to visit, the camera will wake up. It will record video of what's happening. If you've missed it, and often we do, we get other things happening, the AI will identify what's going on and send you a notification to say, hey, look, this species of bird just visited, and give you a little clip that you can stream on your phone. So even if you're not home, you can kind of see what's happening in your garden. What I like is that they use artificial intelligence for all sorts of other cool features. For example, when they've recorded a video, they've noticed that something really interesting has happened, they can then package that as your own little documentary. They add a computer voice to it that narrates it like David Attenborough. So you get this little voice telling you what's happening in your garden. So it's great because this is a whole new package that's come out. And the idea is not only just to record what's happening in your garden, but to help you turn your garden into something that supports conservation, to plant native species of plants, to encourage pollinators to come. It's pretty cool. This is all being done on Kickstarter, by the way. It won't actually be released until 2026 in June. But in the meantime, you can support it by making a purchase. They're selling the camera itself for $180, and all the other accessories can go with it for $206. If you're wondering just how popular this is, within the first day, they've got $2.7 million that's been raised so far.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah, bird watchers are a very specific community. I'm told that it comes a little bit later in life, and then you become thrilled when you see a bird. But you know what, Chris, I'll tell you, I watched Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds too young. At a too young age, and it scarred me. So we'll leave it there. BurgerBots now. What is a BurgerBot?
So this is an attempt to create a new franchise of burger restaurants or chains of restaurants. So watch out, McDonald's. What's going on is that there's a new restaurant that just opened up in Los Gatos, California, and they have a robot that can assemble the food. Now, other restaurants have done this, but BurgerBots really has brought in the idea of a fast food chain. So they've got this fantastic robot that's in the restaurant. They've got a little observation deck where you can watch it. It's got robotic arms, and it can build the burgers by assembling them with the bun, with all the ingredients. The human staff, they're there. All they have to do is just push and supply fresh ingredients towards the robot. The robot will assemble the burger for each order. And what they're pushing is that it can always do the perfect burger. So there's a consistency to it. The robot built a burger within 27 seconds every time.
Wow.
So every time you visit, you're getting the exact same burger that you had last time, and it's always the best quality. This is what they're pushing forward. And there's different types of burgers. There's a fried chicken burger. There's a burger that's got egg as among the ingredients. It's pretty cool. I like how fun it is. They've got this packaging just like you would see in McDonald's, and they've got a little cartoon character called Bob, which stands for Burgers Only Better.
Ah, okay. So we're naming it Bob. Okay. This last story I really want to talk about. This is using VR, virtual reality, to fight catcalling and abuse. Now, as a woman, I have to tell you, the amount of catcalling that has happened in my life, whether you're on the metro, walking down the street, and you just think to yourself, what are they thinking? What are these men thinking? Well, enter virtual reality. Please explain.
Right. So in Italy, what they're doing is they're using virtual reality to bring in a number of test subjects, male test subjects, people who have been guilty of doing catcalling, and having them put on virtual reality headsets that allow them to go through the experience of being catcalled themselves,
Yep.
to understand what's going on. And so what they have found is that often people who are guilty of this kind of behavior, they sort of lack empathy. But by putting a VR, that puts them in a position where they can kind of learn the empathy, they can understand what it is like to be the victim, for example. So the average users of the test subjects were 23, and they were all surprised at how angry they got. When they put on the VR, they're now women, and they're now finding themselves in a situation where they've got a change room that they have to get changed, or they're walking along the subway station, and suddenly they're being approached by virtual guys who come up and say, "Hey, why don't you give me like a nice smile?" And what they found was that they were getting so angry, they wanted to hit these guys. And so the researchers were saying, okay, this is good. We're making progress.
But they're also using, which is really interesting, because, by the way, I think the men who are catcalling often don't realize that they did. Oh, I just threw away that comment. It didn't really impact that person. It does, but it's also being used for domestic abuse. And they put this to 1,000 inmates. And Chris, you're saying that some of these inmates, when put in that situation where they were seeing what it was like to be the victim of domestic abuse, it really shook them up.
Yes, this is happening in Spain across 6 different prisons, and the idea is that a psychologist comes in, they have people who have been convicted of domestic abuse, and they set them up in a little range of tests. Well, one of them is that they put on a VR headset, and they are having a conversation with the victims in the past.
Yeah.
Then what's happened is all the things that they say are logged. Then they put them into a VR scenario where they are now the victims, and you've got a very heavy, aggressive abuser that's calling them disgusting, that's belittling them. But what's interesting is that the abusers start to repeat the very lines that they have used in their real life. And so the idea is to get them to realize just exactly what the experience of being in an abusive situation is.
So interesting, and such a good use of technology there. Chris Sable, remind people where they can find you.
You can find me on the socials at Real Chris Abel, that's KrisAbel, and find everything that I put together on my website at chrisabel.com.
Chris, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. We will chat again soon.